Okay, hello. So, just going to be doing a quick update on my Unreal level. So, the first thing we're going to get right here is a security camera. It's basically just going through three different cameras, uh, setting the camera renderer as a texture and putting it on these cubes. And the second thing we're going to go over is switching pawns. So, pressing E, there's a little update reminder text help guide thing when you walk into that room that said if you press E, you'll swap characters. So now we've swapped characters, and if you can remember earlier, I had a second character who ran around with me at the beginning of the level. She kind of stood over there by the door and ran along with me, and kind of pop-ups appeared as she ran around. Kind of like an aid. I've managed to make it so that you kind of possess her. You get to be her for a little while. She's a little bit different. She's faster, jumps higher, little things, but she'll have her own kind of section. I'm sorry if that was loud. That was really loud for me too, and I lowered the volume and everything. Yeah, so you basically you control her, and then you'll swap between her and him for various points. She's going to like open doors and things for him, and he'll do the same for her, and he'll have more of the action sections, and she'll have more of the quiet, stealthier sections because she doesn't really do combat. But she's pretty cool. I'm glad I got the camera to work right. Yeah. So yep, just switching right back, and that's pretty much it. Just gonna go through some of the blueprints. So her phase's blueprint is pretty much the same as the player's. It's got the same sprint, just the variables are different. Same crouch, jump of a higher number. This is also an example of the switching on an int and the do n stuff we talked about earlier. Movement's basically the same. And get this more movement stuff in our crouch. Okay. So, security camera. This is a bit complicated. So first, basically, every take it goes into a sequence. Well, that's weird. So switching on it between 0, 1, and the default, which is all, basically setting the material of the mesh component of one of the materials in the material array, and it just does that 3 different times. And then it delays the camera to show, and it adds to the camera to show. So it like says this is camera 1, and now we're showing camera 2, and now we're showing camera 3, and it goes back. That's what. So we'll just keep doing that, and then the third part is on a branch. If the camera is greater than or equal to 3, it will set it back to 0. So that way the camera doesn't go to camera 4 that doesn't exist. Pretty simple, just a lot of repeating stuff. And then the pawn change, begin and overlap, enable and disable input so that you can't do it outside of the areas I don't want you to do. And then it gets the player controller on E, it unpossesses the target, and it possesses the new target, and it disables input, obviously, so you can't do that. Pretty simple. And finally, we have, oh, I didn't show that off. Here, I will quickly show that off. Something else I've been working on. It is the, oh boy, the wall run code that I kind of talked about a little bit, but I didn't start to do. Then that I didn't really talk about in the last video because it wasn't really ready yet. It was kind of buggy. I think I got most of the bugs out. It's actually really complicated and simple at the same time. Yeah, so that's just it in action. And so basically what it is it's another doing with the switch on int for the jump. So on the jump it will launch the character and then it lets you do it again. So that your character basically has a double jump. And then on the character there is a wall detector colliders. And on the wall of the collider, on collision with the wall collider, first it will reset your jump so you can do more jumps. Then it will set the player's direction by getting the forward vector, branching and checking if the actor has the tag wall run, which is W. I've put as WR. If that's true, it's going to set a boolean of on wall to true. It's going to play this looping timeline, and then it's going to check has the input key been down on the player controller, which is spacebar, has it been down for greater than 0 seconds, so basically is it being held down? If true, then it will check again if you're on the wall, set your gravity scale to 0, set the planar constraints to 1 on the Z, so basically it's going to force you against the Z, and it's going to add a little bit of force to keep you on there and basically just make it so that you are pushed against and being held along the Z. And if you're not, then it's going to set the gravity scale back and set the plane constraints to normal. And obviously on end overlap of the walls, it will stop the wall run and then it will check if the wall has tags. If it does, it'll set the gravity scale. If not, then it will also set your also while you're on the wall, your max walk speed is increased to, or is changed to the wall run speed, which is another which is a float that is changeable, and it just makes it so that you move much faster on the wall, and as soon as you get off the wall, it turns it back. It's fairly straightforward and also a little complicated with how it's done because of how much of a pain it was, but I'm really glad that it works. It also, not in here, is it actually in here? Oh yeah, then in here we have the rotation of the camera. This is so that when you're on the wall it will tilts the camera to the left or the right. This is where most of the bugs came from. Sometimes it just wouldn't detect that you were off the wall and it would keep your camera tilted, and it gave me a headache a lot. And so basically it checks if things have the tag, and it will play a timeline which updates the controller rotation and the basically messes with the first-person camera's world location and messes with the rotator and does it through lerps. Basically, and it just, yeah, it does that a lot. And on end, it goes back and hopefully fixes it. It usually does, but sometimes, like, if I do it like 5, 6, 7 times in a row, one of those times it'll and not work, and I'll be like, awesome, and I just jump on the wall, jump back off the wall. I don't really know why it doesn't do it every single time. It's not consistent, but the code works, and a majority of the time it does what I want it to do, so I call it a success. And it's like actually beyond what I thought I was kind of capable of doing, and I'm just really proud of it. Granted, this was with help. I did get help from a few different people on this. But yeah, that's basically everything that I've been working on so far. Not a lot is a lot at the same time. Have a nice rest of your day.